Hello everyone, and welcome to Fairy Oasis. Let's make a wood panel floor. I'm going to be using popsicle sticks and cutting them into either 2-inch or 4-inch strips to make my little wood panels. I end up cutting some other sizes as I fit them into the final thing, just because things don't always end up quite the right size. But I start out the process by sorting through a lot of popsicle sticks. I want the ones that have the straightest edges and that are the flattest. I'm also excited to use some of these ones that I found that have more color, streaks, and spots in them because I think that it'll give my floor more character. This took quite a while, but I found what I needed. After that, I started measuring to the previously mentioned sizes. Not on all of them, but a couple for size reference for when I do my cutting. Honestly, my cutting process, I need to work on. It's not the best, not the most efficient for my capabilities, and frankly, I found it a little bit unsafe this time, but I got through and I didn't get hurt. But I'm wondering if this might be an opportunity where the Dremel could be really useful. Cutting 1 or 2 popsicle sticks with, say, a pair of garden shears works pretty well, but if you want to cut 36 of them, it takes quite a while, and you don't always get the straightest cuts as you might want. While I had the wood stain that I used on the trunk for the tree for this project, I didn't really want the floor to be the same color as the tree, so I went ahead and mixed up some paint to make a wash, and I used that on one side of all of my little panels. I am quite happy with the color I got out of it. Finally, once my little panels were all dry, it was time to get to installation of my floor. There are a couple things I would have changed about how I went about this. I, for some reason, decided to put the glue down for the whole floor, which actually, now that I think about it, considering the last floor I put in was carpet and had to all go in pretty quickly, that kind of makes sense. But for something like this, next time, I think I'll put the glue down on 1 inch or 2, put in the panels, and then do some more glue. I think it'll work better that way. This is the part where, of course, I had to recut some of the pieces to make them fit in. And I didn't quite get the pattern I was going for, but this project has been a little bit messy and a little bit do-it-yourself, like the people who live there are doing it themselves. So I don't mind the mess too much. You might notice that I've gone ahead and added some modeling paste into the corners so that they're sort of cleaned up, but again, it looks like the person who lives there did it themselves and then hasn't gotten around to buying more paint to cover it up. But I kind of like this lived-in look for this project. I think it probably took me about 30 minutes tops to get the whole floor in, and that's while I was filming it. After I'd finished gluing it all in, I weighed it down for the drying process with some light reading. And I was pretty happy with the results afterwards. But I think given popsicle sticks some way to cut them and a little bit of paint and glue, I think this would be a pretty simple project for someone to try, at least as part of one of their bigger projects. I hope you enjoy. I'm having a lot of fun on this project. And I hope if you have any art projects, you'll tell me about them down in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. But this is our finished wood panel floor. What do you think? Ta-ta, have a lovely day.